Hey guys, my name is Sam.
And I'm John.
And we've been reading a lot because we like to read words on pages.
A bunch of,
all right, let's start over.
one
This
book.
was garbage, Sean. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was not prepared. Right.
Hey guys. Hey. Hi. How are you?
Hey,
Hey John. How are you?
Are you talking to me?
I'm talking. Well, I was talking to them. Now I'm talking to you. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm okay.
Hey, that's good to hear.
My hair is too long, and it's really bringing me down.
Yeah, I was planning on just kind of growing mine out indefinitely.
Yeah.
Like my hair, I was getting a little wild, kind of horizontally speaking.
Right. Yeah, that's the problem.
And my mom came into town. My parents both did this weekend.
As did mine.
And my mom saw me on Friday, and by noon on Saturday, I was getting a haircut.
Right,
so
that's how that goes, yeah.
Hey, here we are.
I had the same plan, just kind of grow it out and see what happens, and it turns out what happens is bad. And so I call that a successful experiment.
Well, my head was getting all funny shaped, including the hair.
Yeah.
But I kind of didn't mind it, you know?
Right,
it's like, hey, maybe I look like an idiot, but at least it's kind of goofy, kind of fun.
Yeah,
I don't take myself too seriously. I go into work in a professional environment, and I look like an idiot, and that's just my style.
I look like I do not belong there.
I look like some sort of filthy rat boy. And that's just like it's like
it's
my
your
pants.
cool thing,
my pants have dirt on them. It's cool.
Yeah,
it's
they're like that's Sam.
It's like what I do. Hey guys, this is a book club.
Yeah, we read books here.
We've been reading The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson.
Completely covering the title with my hand, holding it, presenting to the camera.
Wow, that sucks.
That feels real bad.
Oh my god, I'm so in love with this book. Like I read these a couple of years back, right? It's been a while now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
I somehow forgot so much.
I believe it. I mean, it's a lot to remember.
Like during the last couple of episodes, I've been playing a bit of a character at times. You know, there'll be something where like I actually know what's going on, but I'll pose a question to you as if I don't know.
I've noticed that too. Like things come up in the next chapter, I'm like, Sam was pretending like he didn't know this, and I knew that at the time as well. Yeah. But like as it happens, I'm like,
I'll ask you like, do you think this character's gonna end up doing this? And
right.
Obviously, I know.
Right. Yeah.
But there's also a shocking amount of stuff that I don't. I'm like,
right. It's
we're like
a legit question.
And I'm like, what? Are you? That happened?
Right.
Like I just don't remember some of this stuff. Either way. I am really enjoying as we get further in. We've had Dalinar as a narrator,
right?
Who by the way, I know in the past we've done character ratings at the end, but 10 out of 10.
Oh, easy.
Hey, don't care.
I definitely noticed like how much I'm enjoying it because for all of the reading assignments we've done, I've done all of them on the night before we record this.
Yeah.
Staying up far too late. But I don't even care that much. I'm like, tomorrow's gonna suck, but I'm way into it. Even last night, I was like going to bed, I was very tired, and I was like, I kind of wish I could keep reading though, you know?
By the way, next reading, I'm gonna give you a heads up now.
Okay, is it a
You
big
are
one?
not gonna want to do it all the night before, because this one was 29,423 words.
Sure, yeah, this one seemed a little shorter.
But the next one is a whole 37,700.
Okay, sure.
And the next reading is also 37,000. I think the next two may actually be our two longest readings for this entire book.
Oh wow!
So just buckle up, split it over 2 days.
Good to know. Yeah, we're hosting a friend this weekend.
I recommend.
So that even less time. So
I'm so excited.
Good to know. Yeah.
Okay.
Me too. All right.
So this was interesting as well because this was our first time we were reading interludes. Between every part, there were like 2 or 3 interludes that all just kind of come from like non-main characters.
Right.
Sometimes I don't even know if they're really telling us a part of the story or if they're just giving us more insight into like the world.
The universe.
They're just like world building tools.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
But I guess let's do our quick little summary of just the reading, right?
Right before we get into that, just a thing from last time. We were talking, I made the bold claim that you cannot see Deathspren, right?
Yes.
So I went back and looked to see what made me think that, and I found this quote, and it's a little ambiguous. So from chapter 10, where Kaladin's talking to his dad, the surgeon, whatever deal. He's talking about washing hands, his dad is, and he says, "You can see the effect it has on Rotspren with your own eyes, even if Deathspren cannot be seen." So
I think that was saying
the effect can't be seen. I think that's what he's saying.
I think he was saying Deathspren are not present. Like they can't be seen in this instance.
Okay, sure.
That's my guess.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't make sense if you can't see them at all, as we talked about.
Because then the cucumber spread.
Right, the washing machine spread.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah. Okay.
All right.
So anyway, let's summary.
So our 3 interludes, let's just kind of just wrap all those up really quick.
Yeah.
The first one was from the perspective of a guy named Ishikk, who lived up at the Pure Lake.
Right, my guess was Ishikk, just...
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I'm just saying that how Michael Kramer.
Right, yeah. And he is the authority.
And this guy was a fun fisherman dude.
Right.
Who liked fishing and not getting married. Those were kind of his two hobbies.
Right, his two main traits.
And there were a couple of mysterious dudes who came in, right? They were Makabaki.
Right,
I guess, which is it's a race of people.
Yep.
One of them was thick-limbed with a bald head. One of them was taller, with short dark hair, lean muscles, and broad shoulders. And there was a third guy who was not Makabaki. He had light tan skin like an Alethi, but his accent was not Alethi.
Right.
He had a scar across his scalp. And these three guys were looking for a character who has not come up in this book yet, but who we're both very aware of, named Hoid.
Hoid, yeah.
Hoid is a character who comes up in every one of Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere novels.
Right, every single one. It's never explained the connections.
He's going to end up being some crazy power. He's like a god or something.
Right. Yeah. Well, I think that Brandon Sanderson said he was going to write a series centered around him at some point.
Okay.
So that'll probably explain everything, and then Brandon Sanderson will write the last word of the book, and he'll die. His work will be complete.
Yeah.
His final. Yeah. No.
So Hoid is like maybe like the main character overall of all Brandon Sanderson's books, and like we just don't know it yet.
Yeah. The last bullet point I had for this was just, the foreigners are looking for Hoid very excitedly.
Yeah.
But yeah, also the amount of times they talk about gods in this little like Pure Lake culture or whatever, I was like, whew, it was like every time one of them spoke, they were talking about one of the two, and I was just like, that's kind of a fun little
there were
easy world building.
Two brother gods. Actually, we like that. I like that. There were two brother gods. There was one they actually worshipped.
Yeah, New Rallic.
Whenever they're speaking out loud outside of one of their like temples, I don't remember what the phrase
something
was.
Something like that. Yeah.
They always pretended like the other one was their god because he was like the younger brother god who would become jealous if they knew who they really worshipped.
Right. Yeah, that was fun.
So he had one quote where he was like, oh geez, they're talking about the actual god, and he was like trying to cover it up. So he was like, the younger brother god, who may curse me as he pleases. I hope he does. I love that guy so much.
Yeah.
That was funny.
He was like, foreigners are so dumb that they don't know that's how it works.
Yeah. Brandon Sanderson just pops out cultures like nobody's business.
Right, easy money,
Holy moly, how does he do it?
All right, next interlude. Bam. Non-Balat.
Non-Balat. I feel like
Is that right? Easy.
Yeah,
I mean,
non-Balat.
not a lot of ways you could really pronounce
I feel like we can wrap this one up pretty easily.
Yeah.
We met Non-Balat. We heard about him before. He's one of Shallan's older brothers, right? Actually, her second oldest brother after only Helleran, who Non-Balat seems to believe is dead.
Right, yeah.
We weren't sure about that, but
pretty determinedly seems, like he's dead.
She also has other brothers, Ashajushu and Tetwakim,
which are
both
some
mentioned.
Names. Those are some Brandon Sanderson names.
And apparently, due to their dad's abuse of, I guess, everybody, it seems like all these guys have fallen into something or another, right?
Right, yeah.
Ashajushu has fallen to vice, Tetwakim to despair. Non-Balat says, at least Shallan and I are left unscathed.
Right, yeah. As he's tearing legs off of crabs. Yeah, that was very creepy.
Hurting animals. That's like how you know someone's a psychopath, right?
Right, yeah.
If people hurt animals for no reason, that's a psychopath.
Right,
we did
pretty
it.
much.
We figured it out.
Yeah, that was easy.
So Shallan's brothers, it turns out,
creepy.
are all very mentally, they're damaged.
Right,
they're all very damaged.
Had traumatic childhoods.
And Shallan is as well, right? Because we've already gotten news of her, like, she's like repressing memories and stuff.
Right, yeah.
Right, so...
Yeah. The only other things that I, came up with from this is that Non-Balat has a crippled leg. Don't think that's a big deal, but just a thing. And then he got mail through Spanreed. Don't know what that means.
Oh, that's true. That's the first thing that's come up.
Yeah.
I can just tell you what that is. It's not a spoiler or anything.
Right.
It's like one of the Fabrials. One person writes with a pen, and that pen is somehow like positionally linked to another pen in the world that also
that's
has
sick. Okay.
So like this other pen is just writing by itself over a paper, matching the person's handwriting and everything.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of cool.
That's sick.
So yeah, that'll come up more later.
Nice. Okay. And then we found out what an axe hound was, which is just like a weird crustacean dog thing.
Weird alien dog.
I just imagine every animal in this universe is like a different type of lobster.
Yeah, they're all like crabs, lobsters, crawfish. They have antennae. So, it's whatever.
Right, it's freaky.
We also got to check in on Szeth's son Villano
again.
And
I didn't think he was going to come up again. So
things are not going so hot for him, it turns out.
Yeah. But he's kind of okay with it.
He's kind of okay with it.
Much more okay with it than Kaladin was in a similar position.
Yeah. So for the last, he killed... Galavar, what, 5-6 years ago? How many years ago was that? I don't even remember. Was it like a lot of years ago?
Didn't write that down, no. It wasn't a super long time ago in this chapter, I feel like.
I think it was 6. I think it was 6 years ago, because I think later they said that that's how long the war's been going on.
Right, that sounds right.
I think he said it's been going on for 6 years already, and at this rate, it could go on for 6 more. Was like the quote.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure 6 years ago, Szeth Sunsun Vallano was an incredibly cool assassin who killed King Gavilar, who seems like a cool dude. So bummer on that account, but still.
Yeah.
Szeth Sunsun Vallano was doing cool flips. He was flying all around. Right. He was being awesome.
And now he's like, oh man, I don't want to. That killing him in front of people, that really messed him up. Seems like,
Yeah.
And now he's like, I'll just be a slave because if people don't know what I'm capable of, they won't hire me to kill people anymore.
So by kind of hiding the fact that he's a shard bearer, by hiding his abilities a little bit, he's been able to fly under the radar, just get traded around as a slave from person to person for the last 6 years now. He's had like apparently a bunch of masters because at first they buy him because they're like, oh, so cheap,
he'll do whatever
so nice.
You tell him to.
This is kind of a fun novelty.
Yeah.
But then eventually they just get this like creeping sensation, like
that he is more than what he says.
Maybe this guy could murder me. I don't know. Who's to say?
Yeah, not worth the risk.
Yeah, so we found out that he's got some little what was it called? An oath stone.
Oath stone, yeah.
Oath stone, which is getting handed around. Whoever holds it has like complete control over him. They can command him to do basically anything except for kill himself.
Right. And he has to stay alive so that he can suffer. Because that's what truthless do, I guess.
Yeah, he has to suffer. So he's like, for example, there were no orders for him to not get caught after killing this guy, right?
Yeah.
He could have just been caught and executed. But as a truthless, he felt an obligation to prolong his own suffering.
Yeah.
And so he avoided capture and threw away his clothes and everything, and
And that's a real bummer.
Yeah.
And that's been going on for 7 years. He's been a truthless for 7 years, but he's 35 himself.
Okay.
So.
He referred to himself as a surge binder and a wind runner, like the Radiance of old.
Oh.
I think those might have been. That. Windrunner was definitely new. Surgebinder might have also been new.
Okay.
But yeah, interesting.
Cool.
So I guess the Radiance of old also had these abilities to fly around and do all this stuff, I presume.
Right, yeah. You could probably extrapolate that.
So that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
When he summons his blade, his eyes turn light and eventually into a bright sapphire.
And that was...
By default, his eyes are dark.
Right, and that was a unique quality of his particular shard blade, I think, as well.
I don't know.
It said something like that.
I don't remember that, but yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing. Now he's just like his current master gets murdered by just like some cutthroats in an alley, and now he's like their slave or whatever.
No, he's some other guy's slave. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Also, the sphere, the necklace sphere, Gavilar gave him. He described it as black. Yeah. I think I might have missed that last time. I think it was dark, but now he said it was black.
Right.
And that sphere is currently hidden somewhere in Yakaved.
Right.
Because if he carried it around, his masters could take it off him.
Yakaved, sure, okay. I always forget
which is where Shallan is from,
are
right?
wise. Yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
All right, now we're on to the actual chapters.
The big boy chapter.
Holy
coming
moly.
in hot.
So there have been a lot of new characters introduced, a lot of just names and stuff, and oh my gosh, I don't know if we should get into all of it, or maybe
I can do a quick
instead of
rundown.
naming every individual character, we'll just wait and see if they become more important later or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know.
I mean, I wrote just really quick little things about each one, so I can do that. But first, let me show you just this thing that was the beginning of this chapter that I thought was interesting.
Oh yeah, the beginnings of the chapters have changed. In the past parts, they've been death rattles, right?
Right. And now
but in this part, it seems like it's a letter to somebody or something that we're getting snippets from.
I'm just imagining from Mistborn their Sazed's journal entries or whatever.
Oh sure.
There's this map of the Shattered Plains in there though.
Holy moly, that's cool.
Pretty neat. Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
So we can, I don't know.
Oh, are these the war camps up along the top?
Yeah.
Wow.
So we could, I don't know, post a picture of that or something.
You can Google it. I'm sure it's online somewhere.
Yeah, but I just thought that was kind of neat. And also, just a thing that's been going on the whole time is every character, whoever's perspective it from, has their own little symbol thing.
Oh, sure.
At the beginning of each chapter, so that's kind of fun.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, but oh my, this chapter was long.
This chapter had a lot going on.
Yeah, so
I'm going to start by just reading the excerpt from the start.
Oh, yeah.
I'm really interested by these excerpts this time around.
Yeah.
So this appears to be a letter to somebody. It just said, "Old friend, I hope this missive finds you well. Though now that you are essentially immortal, I would guess that wellness on your part is something of a given."
Right, yeah.
Who is immortal?
Right,
Who is somebody this speaking to?
Yeah.
Who is it written by?
Oh, actually, another thing at the start of the chapter, too. I presume this is how this works, but this is the first time I've ever noticed this in a printed book, is at the beginning, it's got a big letter to start the chapter, right? And this is a quote, and the quote ends it today, but there's no quotation mark before that, and that was super confusing.
Oh,
and I was like, is that a typo, or is that just how that works?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
I've never paid attention to that.
Right, I'll look at the other chapters and see if any of them start with quotes, but I was like, Brandon Sanderson, pay me a bunch of money, I found a typo.
You should be an editor.
You're right.
Be a proofreader.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
would be okay with that.
Actually, that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah.
I feel like I have a good eye for detail. That could be,
Yeah, I loved being the checker in my reports in college. That was one of the roles we had, and it was just to proofread and change phrasing and stuff.
Yeah, well now I'm basically a professional proofreader because I just do code reviews all day.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. So this first chapter was from the perspective of Adolin, right?
Adolin, okay,
Adolin,
sure.
Adolin.
I said, I think Adolin. So
Adolin?
I said it in my mind, yeah.
I actually don't remember how it's pronounced. Adolin.
Okay.
Adolin. We'll just kind of do it in the middle of Adolin and Adolin. Adolin.
Adolin.
Adolin.
Like with an E.
Yeah, Adolin. Okay.
Yeah.
It's from the perspective of Adolin.
Yeah.
I'm going to call him Adolin.
All right.
He is one of Dalinar's sons, Dalinar being the brother of Gavilar. He's the guy who was drunk when Gavilar was killed.
Right.
Right.
And he feels so bad.
He feels terrible about it. Poor Dalinar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Adolin is 23, which they didn't tell you outright. I had to do some quick maths on that one because he was this, and then this many years later this happened. So basic addition.
Okay.
My wheelhouse.
Yeah, so he's about our age, and he seems like kind of he's all right.
He's all right. He's figuring himself out.
Capable, but kind of immature, I would say.
Yeah, he was he kind of holds. He has this grudge against Sadeas that's sort of he has some reasoning for it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's go through a quick summary sort of thing. Okay.
Sure.
So they're on a hunt. They're hunting one of these. What are they called?
Chasm fiends.
Chasm fiends.
Yeah.
Which apparently the Parshendi worship as gods.
Yeah.
But they're hunting them because at their hearts they have a massive gemstone.
Gem hearts. Yeah.
Yeah. They have these gem hearts, which are apparently insanely valuable. Can feed an army for months. Was the way it was described.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're really big ones.
Right, because they're used by the soul casters.
So these guys are on a hunt for a chasm fiend, right? These guys being Dalinar, his sons, Adolin and Renarin, alongside the king of all of the Alethi, right? Alucard or Elhokar.
Yeah, Elhokar, yep.
Sadeas is also there. He's another one of the high princes.
Right. He's red shard plate guy from the Kaladin's.
Yeah. Oh, was that the shard plate wearer we saw?
They mentioned Sadeas in a Kaladin thing, and we know that Kaladin wears red shard plate, and there was a red shard plate guy. So
Sadeas wears red shard plate.
Yes.
And they're also there with one other high prince named Vama.
Oh, yeah.
And why is he there? We'll find out later.
All right.
And these guys are all hunting this great big monster, more or less. We learn that
big lobster.
Elhokar, it's a giant lobster. Elhokar has paranoia. He's afraid of getting assassinated, but otherwise he's reckless.
Right.
So
to kind of compensate almost, because people know that he's paranoid about being assassinated, and yet, you can't blame him really.
Yeah, and I really like that, honestly, because it's Brandon Sanderson's he's a good writer. I really like his writing. Yeah. Because you see the character going out doing all this reckless stuff, but also being paranoid, and then you have another character who comes in, and he's this wise man who tells you why he's behaving this way, and you're like,
But it never feels forced down your throat so much as it's you were like, oh, I was wondering that anyway. You know?
Yeah.
And it's just kind of given to you.
It's like he could have just told us, but he showed us first. Right. He showed us these things happening, then
tell.
Yeah, I don't know. It was I just like his writing.
Yeah,
I think it's good. All right, so they're hunting the thing.
Yeah.
They race up a hill. They get a vantage point for a thing. Right. They fight the thing. They kill the thing. They get the heart out of the thing. We go back to Kaladin.
Right, that was 2 chapters. But yes, that is pretty much the whole thing that happens, yeah.
We go back to Kaladin.
Discuss them more intensely.
Kaladin is trying to be a cool bridge man leader. He's trying to be the great bridge leader of Bridge 4.
Right.
So that all of his men can live.
Yeah.
However, they're not interested. He says get up early. They say no.
Right.
He says train with a bridge. They say no.
Right.
However, he's kind of a baller, and he does the bridge training by himself.
Example, yeah.
And they're all like, wow, this is really impressive. Do you think he's cheating somehow? And they go and check. It's no, he's not. He's just impressive.
He's just insane, yeah.
Yeah. So now the bridge people, they're impressed by Kaladin. So maybe that'll start working out later. Who knows? It seems like he made a bit of an impression.
Right. And he did the thing that everybody jokes about when you go to prison, where he was like, all right, gotta make an example of somebody who didn't get up early.
Yeah. We
picks him up.
We met a couple of bridge people named Rock and Moash and Dunny and Teft.
Yep.
And maybe other names were given to us as well. I don't really know.
Yeah, I didn't write
We'll see if they become more important later. I honestly think at this point, it seems like he's not just going to go from 50% mortality rate to 0% overnight.
Yeah.
A lot of these guys are going to die.
For sure.
However, earlier, Brandon Sanderson was not describing the appearances or the names of the bridge people, and now he is.
Yeah.
Which makes me think that these guys have a decent chance of surviving.
It's like, it's foreshadowing, but in a positive way. It's forelightening,
Syl is getting really smart now. She understands sarcasm. She knows how lying works.
She understands death. Bummer.
She understands death, and she is aware of how quickly her mind is evolving.
Right. She knows that she did not know things.
Yeah. So she's like really trucking along. At this rate, she's going to be Einstein within a chapter.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And then that's kind of the end of that.
Yep.
That whatever, Kaladin's doing his thing. We go back to Dalinar and Adolin, and we're seeing different parts of this from each of their perspectives.
Yep.
When they're fighting the big old chasm fiend.
Yep.
Elhokar falls off his horse. Oh no, he almost gets crushed by the big...
Yeah, and Dalinar has the coolest heck moment where he runs underneath and catches a swinging claw thing.
He pulls the whole Atlas thing, holding the world above his shoulders, and catches this giant arm that's about to kill the king.
Right. Yeah.
And he's like, oh no, we might still be doomed, but here comes Sadeas, and he fires a giant, basically a siege arrow, as thick as 3 fingers, he said.
Yeah.
Like, this could take out a wall. Not a person, a wall.
Right, yeah, this thing is huge.
And you can only fire these bows if you have shard plates. So he fires this massive freaking arrow, and he helps save the king also, and they're team working, and they save the king.
Yep.
And the king is like, damn, I'm good.
And Dalinar is like, you sure are, bud.
Yeah, because Dalinar is just really supportive of this king, who's kind of a loser.
Right, yeah. King, not a fan.
Yeah, Elhokar, whatever. We'll get into it in a bit.
Yep.
So, save the king, kill the thing, have a little party kind of...
More or less, yeah, while they're waiting for a...
Wit shows up. Wit's a baller. Wit insults people. Wit insults people for a living.
Professionally,
and there was a line about it being legal to kill the Wit. It's legal to kill the Wit, so said the line, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Why is it legal to
But
kill?
Like a lot of the time, you'll lose your position, and people don't take too kindly to it.
Well, that was... Because that's what it said, is that you get demoted from a high prince. So it makes me think it's probably only legal if you're a high prince.
Oh, sure,
right?
Yeah, that makes sense. That carries.
That's my guess.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right. We find out about the Way of Kings, the book within the book.
Yes, it turns out the Way of Kings is the name of a book within the universe of the book, so that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And we learned a bunch of stuff that Gavilar was doing at the end of his life, right?
There were
a couple of
changing
things.
A whole bunch of ways.
Yeah, he started following some of this code, right? Mm-hmm. Which had rules about it was all rules about stuff you should do during warfare to be honorable and just good, right?
Right. Yeah.
So apparently he started following those at the end of his life, and he started reading this book at the end of his life, or having it read to him, because of course it's social taboo for men to read and write. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep.
And some other thing, I think he just started it sounds like he just got kind of really cool at the end of his life.
Right. Yeah.
And I can't help but wonder why. There must have been some catalyst for this, right?
Some reason.
So it makes me think what happened? And I think it probably has to do with him getting that black stone that he gave to the black spear he gave to Szeth. I bet that's all connected somehow. I bet we're going to get a lot of Gavilar flashbacks at some point.
Sure, yeah.
But I hope it's in the next book. Which I guess I'm giving you a spoiler now that it's not in the first 3.
Okay.
Right? But I really hope. I want so badly to just get a lot of Gavilar background.
Sure,
I want it.
I'm going to drink after all, I decided.
Yeah, drink, dude.
Now that we're through the summary, I probably don't need to look up anything.
Drink and be merry, my friend. And we didn't have a single chapter narrated by a woman this time around, which I'm kind of aware of because it's either Michael Kramer or Kate Redding narrating, right?
Oh, sure.
And this time it was just all Michael Kramer, so I was like,
Well, at the beginning of in the book, there's the part 2 page or whatever, and it lists the characters that are in that part.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't remember who it was just Dalinar, Adolin, and Kaladin, I think, for this.
Yeah, part. for the entire part.
Yeah, I believe that's how that works.
Moly, I got a lot more Michael Kramer.
Yeah.
So the next 2 weeks, by the way, this is one of the parts that we split into 3 weeks.
Okay.
Because it is really long.
Yeah.
This was over I think 4 times as long as the 5th part or something like that. The 5th part I think is 1 week, by the way, maybe 2.
Oh wow!
I don't remember.
All right.
Either way.
Quick.
Okay. So now that we've gotten through kind of this summary.
Rapid fire summary.
What did you think, dude? What did you think?
Oh, let's discuss. Yeah.
Let's discuss.
Yeah. So I don't know. We can just kind of go in the same order, because I will, have my notes. That's the only way I can think.
No, let's not do that.
All right.
I want to talk about specific things really bad.
Okay.
So let's get to those first.
Sure.
Because
That's fine.
we might stick on these for a while.
Okay.
First thing first. We've established that Dalinar is cool. But how cool is he?
Okay, sure, yeah. I mean, I like him a lot because his son is all like, he used to be one of the greatest warriors that ever lived, or whatever.
The Blackthorn.
Yeah, right. And you know, he's the only person that anybody has ever seen that doesn't paint his shard plate. Because it's like just a tool, but he knows how to use it like perfectly.
Yeah, the king's is golden, and Adolin's is blue and it's ornamented. He said he has like stuff coming off it, like decorations, you know.
Sadius
is red, right? These guys are all like showing off, they're posturing, right? But not Dalinar. Dalinar,
just undecorated.
Hey, his, apparently shard plate is naturally gray, just slate gray, and he just kept it that way because to him it's a tool. It's not something to be proud of, right?
And he's having all these like weird visions and things, and that's like causing him problems being super cool.
Every time a high storm rolls around,
he just has a vision seizure.
He has a vision seizure. Yeah. He falls on the floor or starts like swinging his arms around, right?
And talking a bunch,
And he's talking apparently in tongues, right? It's like words that people don't understand. And it's like, what's that about? And it's hurting his reputation badly. People think he's going insane.
Right. Yeah. And he himself thinks he's like maybe getting words from the Almighty.
From the Almighty.
Like literally a mission from God.
And he says he can't tell the Vorin Church about it because it'll be like heresy.
Right.
He says that he keeps hearing in his head over and over again just the phrase, unite them.
Yeah.
Who is them? He seems to think it's all the High Princes, right?
Yeah.
Which seems pretty viable.
Kind of makes sense,
I'm like, because
all the High Princes
are
just,
the High Princes.
Like, the war is like a game now to just so you can get the most gem hearts or whatever.
Exactly. Well, and he says that, sieging out the Parshendi was originally his idea, but that idea was ruined by the gem hearts, it turns out. So that when they came to the plains, they probably weren't even aware of the fact that these, I keep wanting to say pit fiends, because that's a monster from D&D. These chasm fiends have these gems at their centers, right? When they all showed up originally, they probably weren't even aware of that. They were just going to kill the Parshendi.
Right, yeah.
But then they kill one or whatever, they're butchering it, I don't know. And they realize they have these giant gems in their hearts, and suddenly all of these Alethi are like, we could make some mad profit here.
Doubling, killing the Parshendi's gods or whatever.
We'll keep saying that we're here to fulfill the Vengeance Pact, right? But really, we're all making mad profit, and we're competing with each other because I guess that's just how Alethi culture works.
Right.
Yeah, so...
But it seems like the thing I like about Dalinar is he doesn't really care that his reputation is going down because his whole thing is like protecting his nephew, right?
Yeah.
Because he failed the king in his mind. I'm like, well, that's fine. I like that he just like sticks to his thing no matter like what other people think of, even whether or not that's a good goal. I mean, like the king is probably an important dude.
I think it's very honorable, right? Yeah. Like he feels like he failed his brother because he was drunk when he was murdered, right? He even said, like, people. I knew people were like talking to me, but I was like dazed. I wasn't able to do anything.
He was talking about the codes, and the codes were saying to not drink or something, and he was like, had I been listening to that,
yeah, exactly. Had he listened to Gavilar, he could have been there to help.
Right. Yeah.
We also learned that the guy who you thought was cool originally, who ran away as a decoy. Remember, you were like,
that was a cool idea.
That was Sadius.
Sadius
was the guy who ran away. And so the thing is, especially from Adolin's perspective, right? He hates Sadius.
Oh, yeah.
He thinks that Sadius is a snake. He calls him an eel, right? He literally calls him an eel.
Right. And I think he literally calls him a snake as well. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Right.
So Adolin thinks that Sadius is gonna. He thinks that he would betray the king at like the drop of a hat. He thinks that Sadius is like so evil, and it kind of makes me wonder: is Sadius like a Snape character, who you're kind of supposed to hate? You're kind of supposed to be suspicious of.
Yeah.
But then it turns out he's actually a really cool dude.
Yeah.
And like we saw there, if he hadn't fired that great big siege arrow at that thing, the king would have died, right?
So yeah, they even said like Dalinar, because Dalinar and Sadius don't get along ever since the king's death. They used to be friends. Something happened afterwards, and they just like looked at each other and they knew that they were enemies, but in that moment they were like, "Hey, good job, we're protecting the king like we're supposed to."
Yeah, well, it sounds like Sadius and Gavilar and Dalinar ended up, they like were the three amigos more or less, and then Gavilar dies, and now they hate each other, but they both seem incredibly committed to protecting Elhokar, the new king, Gavilar's son, right?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm convinced that Sadius
Sadius, he's probably fine, yeah.
I don't know if his heart is in the right place, per se, but, Dalinar had the line where, like, he's one of the true people, one of the few people I would trust with the king's safety, and I'm like, yeah, all right.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I trust you on that.
And, like, at the end of, I think it was the last chapter, they're really getting into it with each other, Dalinar and Sadius. Like, he's, like, calling Renarin useless and everything, and he's like, Dalinar's like, I know that's not what you said.
Yeah, because if that was what you said, well, then we would have a problem.
Right, and he was like, well, what I had said was.
Yeah, he's like, well, I might not have said that exactly. Like, there might have been a slight miscommunication.
Yeah, so they're really at each other's throats for something, but at the end of the day, they can at least get behind protecting Elhokar.
Yeah. It makes me wonder why exactly do they hate each other?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, very important question. What color shard plate would you wear? That's a tough one. It's like, what color lightsaber, you know?
Yeah. Well, with lightsabers, it's tough because the different power crystals have, different levels of effectiveness.
Sure.
Really, if you're not going just like green or blue, you're kind of an idiot. Actually, I think orange is like really OP, but it's so rare. All right, no, never mind lightsabers. That's not what this is about. That's all, I don't think that's even canon, by the way. That was from like a book.
I was gonna say, I feel like I've heard that from something.
Yeah. They're like orange and white and black crystals even.
I was gonna say,
but I don't think any of that's canon.
Ren has like a gold one or something. But
what?
Yeah. At the end of the last Star Wars movie?
No.
Yeah. At the very last scene where she says her last name Skywalker, she has like a gold one.
No, she doesn't. No freaking way. Yeah. I just watched that a little while ago.
All right, that does not happen. We'll look this up.
Okay. As far as I understand it, I watched this recently. It was the actor from Mace Windu, right? Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
Was asking like, hey, what color lightsabers are we allowed to have? And and George Lucas was like, well, it's really if you're a Jedi, it's green or blue. He was like, well, could I have a purple lightsaber? And George Lucas was like, oh, sure, I don't see why not. He just like willed that into existence right there because he's George Lucas. Nice, he has the whole universe just up in his brain.
Right, and
he's like purple lightsabers.
Today, purple lightsabers exist. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, and like suddenly that's just a part of the universe. Yeah. Like, oh my gosh, that's so much power in one man. I also heard that he said he would be willing to come back. George Lucas said he'd be willing to come back and like regain control of the Star Wars universe,
oh my gosh,
like direct more. But he said that he would need to be completely in control of the canon.
Right.
They would have to like he says like, yes, I'm willing to come back and do another movie.
You give me everything.
But you have to give me everything.
Right. Yeah.
We're getting so off track.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway, shard plate color.
I think I would probably want to do something where like you could be stealthy. Well, it's clunky though, isn't it? It makes clanking sounds
that
when
comes
you walk
up a lot,
around.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that even matters. I would do just like silver or something cool.
Sure. Yeah.
I would do silver. I think.
Okay. Yeah. I was thinking like black or yellow. Very different ideas.
Black would be cool, but it's just so evil. Like,
right, yeah, I would have to be a bad guy for sure.
I feel like people on your team would be like, oh God, okay, it's you.
Right, yeah.
Like,
right, yeah. But yellow, I mean, that it would have to be like kind of like a burnt yellow, kind of like
yellow, like the sun, like that's sort of like
like a Dijon mustard. You know?
Dijon mustard yellow.
Right, yeah.
Okay, I can see it.
Yeah. I think those would be my picks. Because it's like, I would say orange because I like orange a lot, but that would just look dumb, I think.
Yeah, well, like the color...
Even like a burnt orange.
The colors of clothes I wear are like maroon. I don't think I would want all maroon, though.
Yeah, that would be a lot, yeah.
Blue. I do often wear all blue, but greens and browns, I wouldn't want brown.
Yeah, brown would look terrible, yeah.
Don't think I want green. Well, originally when I was asking about like stealth, right, I was thinking like, well, maybe like a dark green could be cool.
Right, yeah, camouflage.
It could be like stealth, but
sure.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Silver.
Anyway,
I'll say silver.
Yeah. All right. Anything? Any other major thing you wanted to discuss?
Oh, geez. What else? How much do you dislike Elhokar? What do you think about Elhokar?
I don't love him. I mean, he's pretty young. They said he was like 20, 26, 27. Like,
he said that, yeah, he was a couple of years older. I think 3 years older than Adolin, I want to say.
Yeah. I'm going to say Adolin, and I'm going to stick to it.
All right.
What his name is.
I don't even remember how Michael pronounced it. I'm just kind of guessing here.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't hate him. He is reckless and, super paranoid and everything.
Yeah.
And I feel like he has, one reason for that being the case. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, I don't know. He seems like kind of capable, but he is for sure reckless. I don't hate him. Like,
do you think that he's legitimately paranoid, or do you think that it's justified?
What do you mean? Like,
in his fear of being assassinated and stuff.
Right.
Because when his horse strap broke, right, mm-hmm. later on, he wanted to launch a whole investigation about it. Was it sabotage?
Right,
was it an assassination attempt?
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, that seems pretty, like, textbook paranoid to me anyway. Like,
yeah.
I think it's just a legit thing.
And later when Sadeas said, Why do I think he's paranoid? You're the reason he's paranoid to
Dalinar.
Oh,
right, because you're...
Do you think that was spot on? Or do you think that was Sadeas just, that was just the rivalry coming out?
No, when he did say that, I was like, maybe that plays into it. But no, I mean, it could be. I accept the fact that that's a possibility, but that is not my, inkling. I think it is more his, father's deal. That's probably not helping.
Dude, he said that, and I thought that was spot on. That was, I was thinking to myself, well, geez, here he is, doubling his guard at the drop of a hat, and then, 30 minutes later, in audiobook form, Sadeas is saying, you're the reason he's paranoid. You just justify, I don't know, what's the phrase? It's justify with a response,
Oh, sure.
Not
dignified.
Every time he acts paranoid, you enable that.
Sure.
Right? Is kind of what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's
Right. Every time he acts paranoid and you double the guard, that's just
exactly
reaffirming.
He says on a whim. This was before they had any evidence. He says, I think someone might have cut my horse strap, right? And you're like, okay, we're gonna launch a full investigation. We're gonna double the guard. I want you going here,
Sure,
you know. Double. We need people on every one of these shattered plains plateaus for 2 miles in every direction.
Right, looking for shifty-looking guys. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If every time he talks about an assassination attempt or whatever, you're like, okay, you put the whole team on it.
Right.
He's gonna start feeling
that would reinforce it.
Even there where he was like, we launched an investigation and it did look like it might have been. And he was like, I knew it. Right. That's what he's like every time.
Yeah.
I bet every time he's like, somebody might have greased the hinges on my door to make it swing too fast and hit me in the head.
Right.
And Dalinar's like,
I mean, I wiped my finger on it. It looked like it might have been.
We'd better look into that right away. Yeah. It's just
sure. Yeah.
That's, I don't know.
It's like kids in the, you're at the grocery store and they're like, I want one of those candy bars, and you give them the candy bar just to stop complaining. Now they're only going to do it more.
Now they just want more candy. That's apt example.
Yeah. So
also,
I don't know. Yeah, I can see it.
Early on, Elhokar had something. It might have just been him being paranoid, but he said that in the night he had seen a face or something. Do you remember that?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I think that's real. I think that's going to come back.
Yeah.
I think we're going to learn there's actually somebody spying him in the night.
Well, and with the strap thing, they said maybe it had been cut, because the tear through it was cleaner on one end or whatever. So I was like, maybe that actually.
See, I don't know about the strap. I honestly do not remember what happened with that. Okay. But the face, I think that that felt to me like something he was trying to sneak in amongst all this other paranoia, but that one's real. It just had that feeling to me.
Sure. Yeah. No, I could see that. Yeah. The strap thing, they were putting a lot of attention on. I don't know if that is to throw us off the scent, be like, oh, there's no way, or be like, oh, this is a big deal.
Yeah, I don't know. And or even if the strap was cut, what if it was just a way? What if somebody was just trying to drive a wedge between Elhokar and Dalinar? Because it was said that the saddle was provided by Dalinar's people, right? Most of the guard was Dalinar's people, right? So what if it was somebody trying to throw shade at Dalinar? It wasn't an actual assassination.
Because they were even saying, how would this, how would they know for sure that would kill him, right?
Because when the king is that paranoid, I feel like it's easy to use that against him.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah. No, it probably is.
I don't know. Okay.
All
right. Let's read some more of this. So it turns out that shard plate does just give you superpowers. In addition to being uncuttable, it also makes you insanely strong and fast. You have to be careful about gripping things because you might just shatter them with your. It turns you into Superman.
Yeah,
right?
Pretty much.
Also, we learned that there are not just shard plate and shard blades. There are also shard horses. Kind of.
Right. Yeah,
they're like these super horses called. What are they?
I did not write down the name of them. Starts with an R, but.
Rish, Roshi, Who knows?
Shard horses. Yeah.
Shard horses. I don't remember.
And they're kind of also the shard bows in a way.
A little bit, but Adolin says he doesn't like it when you call them.
Right, yeah. Yeah. Everybody agreed they're great bows, actually. But.
Dalinar has this mega horse. Apparently it has to choose its rider, and it's just better than all the other horses, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah. Just reading through my observations here. The gem hearts that they're getting, in the Kaladin chapters.
Yeah.
Those are big old chasm fiends and chrysalises or
they
whatever.
come up and they go into like cocoon form.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, cocoons. Yeah, and so they're just like, oh, sweet, and they just cut that open.
It said that the Parshendi were also going for the gem hearts, but I wonder if that's true or if the Parshendi are trying to just like defend them.
Yeah, that's my guess because there are like in that one chapter they were already there, and it seemed like they were just defending it.
Yeah,
and then they like won the battle, and then they went and got the gem heart. But yeah, had they gotten there first, it seems like they would have just taken it.
The thing is, when it said that the Parshendi were also going for it, I remember thinking like, that doesn't sound like this is someone's opinion. This sounds like just narration, right? Of like what is happening.
Yeah.
But every chapter is from somebody's perspective, so it's just hard to be sure.
Right, it's hard to say.
Also, what do you think of Adolin being like a total, I would say ladies' man, but it seems like he sucks at it, right?
Yeah, he's like always courting somebody new, but it never really works out.
He's been through like 4 girls in 2 months.
Right.
He had some quote about how like, oh yeah, all my relationships end, but it's like almost never my. Well, this time it was my fault, but normally it's not my fault. And I was thinking to myself like, oh, it's always his fault. It's his fault every time.
He's the common denominator here. Yeah. No, I kind of got the same impression. I was like, yeah, he's just going through them, never really like is actually trying that hard or whatever.
Oh, also, there was a point where Dalinar was looking eastwards, toward the origin, a distant place where high storms begin.
I noticed that as well, yeah.
So I guess high storms do originate at a certain point in the world, and they just emanate forth. And
they say nobody knows exactly where it is, but they know what like direction it comes from.
Yeah.
So I picked up on that as well.
I could almost imagine like the high storm just being a permanent thing that just like circled the world over and over again.
Yeah. No, I figured they just popped up.
Or something. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, Sadeas doesn't have a shard blade.
Sadeas does not have a shard blade, only shard blade. That's good. Right. That's good to touch on. And he's jealous of shard blades.
He's not happy about it. That's why he, in the battle against the Chasm Fiend, was using the great bow because that's the best he can do.
Renarin also, and I quote, has blood weakness.
Oh yeah, I picked up on that as well.
And he can hardly use a sword. So Renarin is kind of he wears glasses. He's a nerd. He's a nerdy boy.
Right. And he like rides into the battle against the Chasm Fiend. Dalinar's like, "You're gonna die. Get out of here. What are you doing?"
But then Wit complimented his intelligence. So maybe he's just smart boy. That's his thing. Yeah. Can't fight so good, but hey, who needs it?
Right. Yeah, I think that's pretty much everything. Oh no! During Dalinar's visions, he mentions the Everstorm as well.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Also, there was a quote, the hallmark of insecurity is bravado. And I just liked that quote. I just thought it was good.
I almost wrote that one down. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I was like, Wit is like a dignified professional insulter.
Yeah.
And yep, turns out he is. Yeah. And then the next chapter is pretty much just like Brandon Sanderson probably could have made that one chapter, but oh boy, that would have been a big one.
Yeah.
As it already was, yeah. So we can just go straight into that.
Oh, we also learned about a person named Aunt Navani, who had invented the big bows.
Oh, there was one other thing, too.
And she's currently out of town. She's away somewhere. Who knows where?
Mm-hmm. Oh, wait. No, this comes later. Never mind. Okay. So chapter 13 was the 10 seconds, right?
Yeah.
And that was a super cool, like, narrative technique where he was like, 1, describe some stuff that's happening. 2, describe some stuff that's happening.
Oh, yeah.
That was like, I felt the suspense when I was reading that. I was like, oh, this is cool. And also just the fact that like if your heart is beating faster, you get the shard blade faster. I was like, oh yeah, of course, yeah. But that was just kind of neat.
Here's another quote, just another beginning of chapter, right? Continuing that letter. I realize that you are probably still angry. That is pleasant to know. Much as your perpetual health, I have come to rely upon your dissatisfaction with me. It is one of the Cosmere's great constants, I should think.
Yeah, I was like, all right, getting a little cheeky about this.
Also, in the past, I think in our last episode, they mentioned that like the Palaneum, which was that big library in Kharbranth, right, was like the greatest source of knowledge in Roshar. And we asked, is Roshar the continent or the planet?
Oh, yeah.
This time there was something about like, it's in Western Roshar or Central Roshar.
Oh, yeah.
That makes it sound like a continent. Pretty sure it's not the planet. Okay. It's a landmass, I think.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Yeah. They mentioned like where countries were located or whatever.
Yeah. Seriously, what are the Alethi doing? Killing the gods of the Parshendi. That just I know they're in a fight, but it's
right.
You don't kill someone's gods.
That's like somebody getting into war. They're like, all right, step 1, bomb all the cultural sites. Step 2, that's pretty horrifying.
What if we got into a war here and the enemy attacking us was like, we're just going to blow up all your churches. And we're like, why?
Whoa, yeah, come on, dude.
Yeah. That's
I mean, part of it, like, sort of makes sense. It sounds like the hunt of these chasm fiends is like kind of a tradition that precedes the war. That wasn't explicitly said, so that might not be true.
You're right, because he said that Gavilar had always wanted to hunt a chasm fiend. Mm-hmm. And that was distinctly before the war,
yeah,
right?
They were like, it's convenient that it's already a tradition to blow up their cultural sites. Now we can use it against them even more so, yeah. Let's see. Dalinar's sword is Oathbringer. That's a book.
And Elhokar's is Sunbringer.
Something, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sunbringer and Oathbringer, yeah. Oathbringer is the name of the third book in the series.
Right.
So
that'll come up.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a cool name for a sword.
Oh, Shardplate is like translucent on the inside? So like you can turn your head.
It was when, I think it's specifically for the helmet. He said when he put his visor down, it like sealed into place, and then he could see through the signs. It still had a slit for the eyes.
Right.
Because I guess when you're looking through it, even though it does become kind of see-through, it's like muddy.
Right, it's like dirty glass.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is what I look through every day.
Oh, cool.
When the shard blade kills the thing, you know, then it like cuts like a normal blade because the thing is already dead. I was like, probably not a big deal, but
sure.
Yeah, they just mentioned that.
There's another quote, another one of those beginning of chapter things. Let me first assure you that the element is quite safe. What is the element? I have found a good home for it. I protect its safety like I protect my own skin, you might say.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
What does that mean?
Right.
Is it inside his body?
Yeah.
Is that how he protects it like it's his own skin?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, freaky.
Maybe his own skin is also protected in somewhere, and it's not where he is. He's he's a lich. I don't know. I don't know, John.
He's got phylacteries.
I'm freaking out. The person writing this letter, I think, might also be immortal. Because I feel like immortal people are normally friends with other immormal people.
They probably have a club, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, why do anything against an immortal dude? They'll get over it, right?
Yeah.
Yep. So this is the Kaladin chapter now?
No, one more quote, actually. Well, yeah, then there was the Kaladin chapter.
Okay.
But I don't really have any good notes for that, besides what we already talked about.
Okay, sure, yeah. No, I don't think I do either.
Okay, next quote. You do not agree with my quest. I understand that. So much as it is possible to understand someone with whom I disagree so completely.
Right, I thought that was a good way to put it. You know? I was like, well, that's as open-minded as he can be, given his position.
We learned that Fabrios can chill wine and give off heat. Cool.
Yep.
Also, we learned that...
I think you're going to say the thing I'm going to say. Yeah, Dalinar can't remember his wife?
Yep.
What the heck?
At all.
Right, not, like, he has memories that his wife is in, and she's just blurred out. No details whatsoever.
And even if someone says her name near him, he doesn't hear it.
Right. He just...
That part of the sentence is just like, whoa.
Static, right, yeah. I was like, why?
Yeah, that is wacky.
They said there was like some word, and I assume it's just a regular word for like forgetting something, but I was like, is that a thing somebody did to him? I can't remember what it said, didn't write it down.
Oh, it was like, his memory had been... like extricate. It was like something like that. Something,
Right, yeah. There's some verb there.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Right. We should maybe find that one. Whatever.
Well, I can do it for next episode. But
yeah.
Also, in my continuing fascination with Spren, mystery Spren just kind of come off the carcass of the thing, and nobody knows what they are. And they're kind of clear. That. Yeah. No, they just mentioned that when they're cutting up the chasm fiend. They were like, really hard to see translucent Spren were just coming off the thing, and it said like. This always happened when they killed chasm fiends, and nobody knows what they are.
What the heck? Because we did meet Glory Spren, that's new.
Yep.
And River Spren also, which are like eel-shaped. They're like long guys.
Oh, yeah.
I think those were in Ishikk's little thing.
I remember that, yeah. But yeah, these ones, first ones that just everybody's like, I don't know what that's about.
Dude, I totally missed that.
Yeah.
What the heck?
Yeah, Spren, they're always on the radar. Let's see. Yep.
And now we're into the last chapter, which I did not take notes for because I was driving. So, hey, what do you got, John?
Let's see.
Take us home.
Gem hearts can be shattered if they're used for, like, casting.
Oh, that's any gem.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, you can use like an emerald to create food, as we discovered back in part 1, I think.
Yeah, so the bigger they are, the harder they are to shatter when you're using them. So maybe that's like you overdraw their power or something, I don't know.
Yeah, it said that it has a lower chance of shattering if it's really big.
Yeah.
So maybe a very tiny one, like you could use it to create food, but it's almost definite to just like explode immediately.
Right. Yeah.
But then a great big one, you can use it like a bunch of times.
Sure. Yeah. Fun little piece of Alethi culture. They believe, if they do good in life, they can go to Valhalla and fight with the heralds for the Tranquilin Halls against the Voidbringers.
Was it called Valhalla?
No.
Yeah, Tranquilin Halls, I think.
Yeah,
is
I
the
was like,
name, yeah.
Tranquilin, like a tranquilizer? It's spelled exactly the same way. That is the chemical they put in there or whatever. I don't know.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it was called the Tranquiline. Tranquiline.
Sure. Yeah. We found out why Bridgemen don't get armor or shields or anything. Because when they used to, the archers would just focus on the army. So they were like, well, we can take the Bridgemen easy. We'll just focus them.
Yeah, Sadeas would prefer that
the Bridgemen die.
His Bridgemen just get shot, right? Because they're not valuable to him.
Yeah, and Dalinar was like, oh man, Bridgemen are just a terrible thing. Why do you do that? Huh?
Yeah.
Just wheel them in, man.
That's so mean. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, here's a fun quote. The means by which we achieve victory are as important as the victory itself, which is something Dalinar says. And they're like, that is not
and everyone else like rolls their eyes. They're like, oh, get a load of this guy.
Right, this guy's got morals, whatever. Yeah. Then this, of course, is where we find out the Way of Kings is the book, like we talked about. Adolin was talking. They talked about how Gavilar wrote those like words to find the most important words man can say, which is a quote from the Way of Kings.
Yes.
And Adolin was like, Galavar could write?
Yeah,
I don't like that, yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe he couldn't, right?
Right, yeah, because Zeth wrote it, yeah.
Maybe he could.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it was like, they said, oh, Gavilar wrote those words, and Aegon was like, boy, and Dalinar was like, yeah, well, he was getting into some weird stuff,
right,
at the end of his life.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like he could have written those, yeah.
Yeah, he was just Sadeas was the decoy, huh?
Yeah.
Just the whole point there, yeah. And the Way of Kings itself was a guidebook for the Radiants. Yeah. I'm pretty sure we don't love the Radiants.
Well, the Radiants were the... Oh, God.
They're the Heralds.
I don't want to comment on it too much
because
I know more about the Radiants than you do.
Yeah. They're the Heralds, which are like the cool dudes, but at least Kaladin's dad was like, the Radiants are the ones that betrayed us or whatever.
Yeah, I don't remember what I'm supposed to know and what I actually know.
Yeah. But either way, Way of Kings was like their like Bible or whatever, I guess.
Yeah.
Shardplate just repairs itself over time.
Yeah.
No matter how, like, it can be completely shattered and just, I don't know, all the pieces are like, given enough time.
Yeah.
And, Dalinar, he was talking about the Bridgemen when they get there to the very end of the chapter, and he was like, Bridgemen, hey, they bear the weight of kings. And I was like, that's a cool
And a group of Bridgemen came from Sadeas' army.
Right, yeah.
I wonder who could be in that group. I actually don't remember if Kaladin
I don't know.
He's got to be, right?
I was like, surely the next chapter. That's why I wanted to keep reading. I was like, oh, it's got to be.
Because I'm just saying, if there was going to be a bridge group you were going to send off to do extra unnecessary work, I think it would probably be the one you hate. E.g. Kaladin's, right?
Right.
So I bet that it even said right at the end there that Dalinar like nodded at one of the Bridgemen, like gave him a salute or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I bet that's Kaladin.
Surely,
he just did it right too.
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember.
Kaladin's main character. It's gotta be.
It's gotta be.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So hey, I really liked that whole section we just read. I thought it was super fun, super cool.
The only bummer was in chapter 12 where I was like, oh, another new character. And then like they would mention some other detail, and I would click back up to that line and I'm like, right, also this thing. But yeah, super good.
Let's rate some new characters. I've already given you my Dalinar rating, but what's yours?
10 out of 10 for sure.
Heck yeah. What do you think of Elhokar? What's your rating for him?
I don't know, like 4.
Yeah, 4
like,
sounds good
if
to
5's
me.
average, I'm like, you're not, you have potential, but you're not getting a strong start.
He just feels kind of immature.
Yeah.
Like he's got a lot to prove. He's not happy in his own skin.
Yeah. Yep.
Adolin.
Like 5.
Yeah.
Pretty average.
Adolin's okay.
He can go either way.
His brother Remorin.
Yeah. He's maybe a 4, just because like he would probably be a 5. Because I don't have a ton of an opinion, but then he like went to battle, and I was like, dude, you can't.
Yeah,
we
didn't really learn
idea.
much about him.
Yeah,
I think I'll just give him like a 5 as like a default. Like I honestly can't say.
Yeah, I pretty much start every character at a 5 and then see what
Sadeas.
Sadeas, like a 7.
He's a dick to my favorite character though, so I'm gonna give him a 5.
Yeah, I mean 7 because like you were talking about the thing where he was like, well, you're the reason he's paranoid, and that you convinced me a little bit. I was like, it's kind of smart.
You're right. Maybe I'll go up a 6. Maybe now you've convinced me a little bit.
We can compromise. We'll say 6 1/4. 6, yeah.
No,
6 1/4.
I'm just gonna say 6. How about Wit?
Oh, Wit's like a solid 9. Like, I can't give him a 10 because he's not
Wit's pretty fun. Again, I haven't seen quite enough of him yet. I'm gonna just give him an 8.
Right. He was like, I give insults and you're in sluts, and I was like, oh, Wit, you.
I think that one's funnier written down because those words actually don't sound that similar.
No, they don't.
Aloud,
but... Well, I read it like, I'm like, I don't. It's weird. Here's a tangent, real quick. So like, when you read, a lot of people when they read, they're like literally reading, like out loud in their mind, right? They're like speaking the words in their head.
That's how I read.
Yeah. But
I even do character voices in my head voice.
Right. But speed reading, which is the thing that I learned so that I could do summer reading in time because I always put it off a bunch.
Yeah.
Is like your eyes can pick up chunks of words all at once.
Yeah.
And so that's why I always like go underlines with like a pen or something, because that helps your eyes just to like get chunks and your mind can just interpret all the chunks and put them in the right order and everything.
Yeah.
But I still have like some voices. So that one I was like sub-vocalizing is what it's called or whatever. And I just read that and I was like, what? And then I was like, oh, the spelling. Okay, sure.
Sure.
So yeah.
Dang, yeah. It seems like you have really good retention for how fast you read. Because you were mentioning that like for the reading last week, I think you said you did in like an hour.
Yeah,
and
it's like it's pretty quick.
That would have taken me 2 or 3 hours, like no doubt.
No, I mean it's like it's pretty fast because you're just like, every line only takes half a second or something. So
well, dang.
Yeah.
You got some funny thing to end the
episode? What's our next section?
Oh!
I think you said the word count, but not.
Let me pull it up. I think we're doing like almost 10 whole chapters or something like that. Let me.
So many.
Here we go. How do I get out of here? How do I get in here? Okay. Yeah, we're reading chapter 16 up through chapter 22. So, get to the end of chapter 22,
okay,
and then we're done.
Perfect.
That entire reading block is 37,712 words, making it our longest by a long shot so far.
So get it done.
Give yourself a little bit of extra time this week.
All right.
And let's do it.
All right. I'm John, and I'm turning sharply on my horse, and oh no, I've fallen onto the ground, but I can't go all the way, or the camera won't see me.
And I'm Sam, and I'm gonna hit you with a big arm. Is that what? Am I the?
I was thinking you were down arm. Sure.
Oh no!
Book over.
Rest in peace. Oh man.
God bless his soul.
See you.